You know, and Roger Stone's a wonderful. You know, and Roger Stone's a wonderful. You know, so I was very close to both people, so I take him seriously on this. The other thing is, look, really stupid.
Look, really stupid.
Like QAnon stupid, but stupid. Like QAnon stupid, but stupid. Like QAnon stupid, but stupid.
QAnon stupid, but stupid. Like QAnon stupid, but stupid. Like QAnon stupid, but stupid. Like QAnon stupid, but stupid.
What was the threat elsewhere?
Well, they're going to be escaping to Europe. That's where they want to go. They want to go back to their homes, but Europe didn't want them from us. We could have given it to them. They could have had trials. They could have done whatever they wanted. But as usual, it's not reciprocal. You know my favorite word, reciprocal. That's all I want. I don't want an edge. I just want reciprocal. And it's not reciprocal, Steve. It's not a fair deal for the United States. And when President Obama took the keee, you know, when they bring in PKK, that's a tough deal because that's been a mortal enemy of Turkey. So when you bring them into a partnership, it's a
Tough situation.
Then they began taking on 9/11 and following some of Kevin's material and my material. And of course, the last thing that we need is our material, which is based on leaks we got from the FBI. This is where we have much of our 9/11 material from, and it's good material. And it includes negative information about Israeli citizens who were involved, and Saudis, and Americans, and South Africans,
Siberian,
and Canadians,
Well, I hope you guys are getting ready for the reboot of the entire world in spiritual time, which will occur tomorrow night at sundown for 24 hours. I hope you're ready and you know about it. And if you do and you're willing to do the work, it's going to be fantastic. Fantastic day in the history of the human race. No, but seriously. Shana Tova to everybody.
And Canadian.
In working in a coalition for varying purposes to stage 9/11, based on records we read from an FBI agent who ended up suing Robert Mueller and others, but who leaked the material to us. And
not helping us to have Project Veritas.
And then Project Veritas wanted to take that information and turn that into our attack on Jews. By cleaning up their version and trying to spin it into something. And then, of course, refeeding itself through Google to discredit itself and, of course, discredit its own whistleblower, which was always the point the first time. Fake whistleblower, get the information out, and then kill the information so it can never be used.
Anyway, you each had maybe 20 pounds on me, and you cornered me in the field house, and you just laid into me.
Come here! No! Get in there, man! No!
And then you got me upside down over the toilet, and I started screaming because I looked down and the toilet's full of piss. Whitney had pissed. So I'm screaming, and you're both laughing, and it's all echoing off the tiles, and then Whitney looks down at me. Crazy crazy eyes and he screams at me.
You think I won't kill you?
And then he punches me hard, and I'm choking on the blood from my nose. And then you dunk me and hold me under for...
On traditional crime figures.
The public has a perception that organized crime has largely gone away. That, of course, is not at all true.
In the last 15 years, the Russian mob based here in Brighton Beach, Brooklyn, has grown into an intimidating force. A lucrative international enterprise stretching from Moscow to Israel,
To Israel.
to Thailand, to the United States, blending old-fashioned brutality with high-tech skills. The Russians' massive smuggling operations were run out of this port in Newark, New Jersey. One ingenious scam to avoid paying taxes had tanker loads of wood grain alcohol being shipped back to the motherland. Vodka.
I worked on one program to launder money through Trump in the early 90s involving, this is the time that Russia was in collapse. The CIA had taken control of the port at Gdansk, began smuggling cigarettes, Marlboro cigarettes, into Russia. In Russia, cigarettes are sold to finance war veterans. They sell them through kiosks because they don't have pensions there. They would dye it blue. They would label it windshield washer fluid, ship it to Russia, undye it, and then sell it as vodka.
In time, Louis and Z left the shores of the Atlantic for Zurich, Switzerland, in a far more menacing situation. A meeting with a high-ranking Russian general, offering his government's arsenal for sale.
And we're talking long-range missiles, tanks, submarines, everything.
The danger
was driven home last week with the New York indictment of notorious Russian arms dealer Victor Bout, captured in Thailand in March. He was charged with selling weapons to a terrorist group to be used to kill Americans. Hardly a scene from The Sopranos. Italian organized...
preventing them from reconciling with the Syrian government and coordinating a common defense against the Turkish invasion. So basically, in short, the impending slaughter and ethnic cleansing of the Kurds in northern Syria by Turkey is happening because Trump refuses to end our efforts to overthrow the Syrian government. Refuses to end our efforts to overthrow the Syrian government.
Refuses to end our efforts to overthrow the Syrian government.
Refuses to end our efforts to overthrow the Syrian government.
Kurds are just another casualty of this regime change war, which is supported by warmongering Republicans, Democrats, and the corporate media.
Hi, Moisha. Moisha, how are you, baby? How you doing? Rudy, congratulations on the 100th. I love that picture. I can't wait to come back. See you in Ukraine soon.
Yeah, and Anatevka is the best place in the world.
We love you.
We love you.
QAnon. They call it a conspiracy theory, but, you know, they work with Trump and stuff, and that's why I have my Q shirt on right here. You know, the white rabbits and all, with the red coat.
It's very Saul Alinsky.
How do you
Karl
mean?
Marx, Saul Alinsky, look him up. Look him up. He's the one that told
I know who he is.
Yeah.
The Clintons like him. I'm asking you.
Yeah, he's the one that told you how to control it.
QAnon basically posts on 8chan. It's a information dissemination program from the government, likely obviously working with Donald Trump, and, you know, it will be out in the public knowledge, but it's, you know, seeping out slowly. All we're waiting for is a reporter to ask Trump himself who QAnon is, and they bring things to light like how Donald Trump has arrested more human traffickers than any other president.
Of all. And the other one is that, you know, in New York, getting 13-year-old girls to have sex with you is not a huge accomplishment. You know, I mean, of the 7-8 million people there, and
the varying communities from Puerto Rico to Hispanic to the, you know, the Hebrew community or whatever. It's a city filled with angry, rebellious preteens
who are likely to act out and behave badly or whatever. We have a lot of issues there, a lot of denial issues about how males were about how subservient males love being humiliated by very, very young girls. I ran into this kind of stuff when I was a student teacher, you know? This is, in the 70s. We had people in, suburban high school.
Yeah. Dorky teachers who were having, not just having sex with, 14-year-old girls, but these 14-year-old girls were openly humiliating them.
And it was, and the school authorities all pretty much knew about this, and this stuff's been going on a long time. And in this society, it's been going on. In foster care, we've got 38 kids come forward that they've been sexually abused in foster care. Immigrant kids have been taken away from their parents. We have several 100,000 young people in the U.S., many of whom are adults or past that even now. We talk about the Catholic Church or any other religious organization. So, we have a society where we've had endemic human trafficking and sexual abuse of the young, and
it certainly reaches the high levels of power and is used for blackmail. The Franklin scandal material shows that, among other things.
And at every level.
Because, Donald Trump understands the cabal, the deep state that we're dealing with, where really, lots of people, just use children as currency or worse, and, for satanic reasons, unfortunately.
That would be expected, and I wouldn't expect them to say anything about it. They could be taken care of as well. What's generally known by pretty much anyone is that Israeli intelligence is extremely powerful in New York, and there was reason to kill Epstein. But we ran into some things, we're going through your show, I know, but the Epstein stories, I have direct connections to his family, connections to his family, to people he worked with, going right back into the 70s. So I know people that have known him well and been close to him well. And what we know for certain about Jeffrey Epstein is Jeffrey Epstein is not bisexual, he's totally gay, which then makes me wonder about all these pedophile stories. Which always made me wonder about Trump's sexual escapades with porn queens. When I know of him running around New York on the arm of very, very gay Roy Cohn.
You questioned this Trump and Roy Cohn relationship. Likewise, with Epstein,
arm in arm for years. Yeah, with someone who Roger Stone says Roy Cohn's not gay. He just likes having sex with young men like Donald Trump. Young men like Donald Trump.
So Karl Marx also told you how to control things. You take over modes of transportation, you take over the media, and then you pretty much take over the country.
Okay, so what's the deal with HCAM? Because that made it in the news because of the El Paso shooting. Do you know what the deal is with that?
People basically, they're trying to make it look like somebody else did it. So it's the deep state trying to make it look like somebody else did it. Like the Dayton shooter, for example, is Antifa, but technically Antifa, but nobody talks about him. And actually the El Paso shooter used to be a registered Democrat if you look at a screenshot, and then it got changed to Republican after the shooting happened. So how is he going to change his registration after his death? Do you know what I mean? They're like on the website where it says his information. His information got changed afterwards, after his death.
I heard about the Dayton Antifa thing, but El Paso too? I thought he was Trump.
El Paso, he's a Democrat. It's not that he's Antifa, but he's a Democrat.
More than life its fucking self. What if I could suck his cock? Let me suck Trump's cock. You think you are Jeffrey Epstein, Dale? Get the fuck out of my face, Jeffrey Epstein! I'm trying to really become conservative to fuck my wife. I'm trying to find people on the left.